Okay, so hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Obviously I don't have my wig on because I'm tired. Our girl is tired from work and day. But welcome in. So today we will be like serious but also not serious. I'm gonna be playing different games, probably just Minecraft or Ghost or Roblox or something. But I'm gonna be playing games where I'll talk about like my coming out story, things like that. Just like little general things and just like how life has been since I came out, since I came out again, and different things. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin, basically it was kind of like why am I reaching for my hair, like my wig? Like I will just like play on it, but basically like how it all started was of course like any other like trans, queer, etc. person, and basically it's always been a part of me. I've always known. It's just that it took some time, especially with like becoming like knowing that I'm trans. Basically, when I was like little, I used to play with like my sister's dolls. Used to play with like my mom's like, cause she used to like wear wigs back in the day. I used to like play with like her wigs. I used to play with like just anything that I could that was kind of like feminine basically. Like I would play with like her heels when she wasn't there. And then like I would be so scared when she got back home because I'm like, what do I do? And like I would like trying to like put her stuff back like really, really fast. And so I honestly just I guess like I kind of always knew. It just was like I was scared to like admit that I was different, I guess, which I guess I am, but it's like also everyone's different. It's a part of life. Everybody's different, and honestly different is what makes you special. I know like everybody's like tired of hearing like, oh my gosh, like everybody says that. It's kind of cliche, but at the same time it's just like, and sort of it is, because guess what, it is literally the truth. You're different, and that's okay. um and obviously I'm like playing Minecraft while also talking about this, so it's kind of like my ADHD, and I'm like, I have to do something or else I'm just gonna sit here and look at the screen and I'm gonna be so awkward. But like basically it was just like something I always knew. It just like took me time to figure that out. I first came out, well, like, okay, so this is like a little trauma dump, but I was essayed as a child. um it's a pretty common thing among like any of the LGBTQ. It's not, I'm not saying there's normalized, and it shouldn't be. Nobody should go through that. But it's kind of like a common experience that majority of us have. And it's kind of just like that first thing of like, either, because for me, it was just that it was like one of like my friends from school. And like basically I thought that it was a normal thing. It's like I found that it wasn't. And then I was also just like, oh, but then it's kind of like when like adults tell you something, but then you're like, no, that can't be true. That's basically how I was. I was like, no, he was just playing around. And then I was just like in denial, kind of. I guess my like little brain was like, no, we don't need to know the truth. But then like there was like a whole court process and things like that, and obviously he had to like move schools. He wasn't to be near me. And I was like very good friends like his sister. And so I was just like, oh, okay. I'm not quite sure if like his sister ever like knew about it. I'm sure she probably thought it was suspicious that her brother had to switch schools, but I'm not quite sure if like his parents told her. I it's just, I don't know. It was kind of a weird situation. It was also just like, it's, I don't know. It's just like it happened. I'm not really letting it control me now. It controlled me for like a long time. And I guess in some ways it does today. I am scared to like go to the restroom with men or be like in the same like vicinity or whatever. I don't know. It's just like, it's weird. And obviously has a lot to do with trauma. I just don't like being near men in general, like by myself. unless like we're really close. And I have very few like male friends I consider close, especially like straight men in general, just because I have always like I felt like I had the need to like explain myself, or like I had to feel like I had to like clarify that I don't like them like that, because there's always like this thing of like straight men just like, oh, like you like me because like you're gay or whatever. Obviously that isn't how that works, but it's just how straight men think. But back to the story. So basically, I was essayed as a child. It happened. It obviously changed me in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And so basically, it's kind of like I went through school, and then I went, like, this was elementary school. Like, this was like when I was in first grade, well, kindergarten and first grade. Like, it went on for like, I want to say like a year, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and so basically, it was just that I I said I never really understood what it was. I was just as confused as like multiple kids where I didn't know how to feel about it when I found out that it wasn't right. Like my dad literally asked, did I want to stop? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, what do you mean you don't know? And so I felt like compelled to say like, yeah, I want to stop. And obviously at the time I was just like going by what my parents said, and I didn't know what to think or feel about it. And obviously now I know that that's wrong and that this shouldn't have happened in the first place. Um, it's like after that, it was just like there was like a lot of problems going on at home with like family, especially with my dad and mom. They were never like they weren't married or anything like that. They were separated like when I was a baby and when my sister was still in my mom's belly. And so basically, it was just like my dad wasn't present, or wasn't as present as he should have been. Like he would like try to like quote unquote fight for like me and my sister to like get custody of us, but then it would just be like he would disappear and then not show up for like a couple months. They'd be like, oh, I'm here to pick up the kids, because like obviously in court when like you're having like custody problems, the court like allows you to like see the child like every other weekend or however it works with certain people. And that was like his rights was like to see us every other weekend, but there would just be times where like he just wouldn't come pick us up. And I've always been like a very emotional person, emotional child especially, and I still am. But it's just like he wouldn't come get us, or like till the last minute that he couldn't come with us. Like I would just be very excited, very like ready to go. My bags would be packed, but then like it would just be he didn't come get us, and then I would just be so disappointed and sad about it that I would actually like go to my room and be like, well, what do I do now? There was problems with my mom as well. My mom had custody of us, but she was really there either. It was kind of like the thing where she's your mom by title only, and then you're just like you don't know how to feel. I was a child, and so basically she would just like there would be, which I guess it is all her fault, but at the same time it kind of is. It would just be like she would drop us off at like our grandmother's house and leave us there, and like I was type of way about it because obviously I'm a child. I'm like, oh, like she just doesn't want us. But there were like times like she was having problems like in her own like worlds, or like she couldn't pay rent, or like she couldn't like provide for us as she wanted to, so she would just leave us with our grandma, which my grandma's house is kind of like our safe haven kind of, but it was also just like I always missed my mom. I always missed like being like with her and stuff like that, but obviously that wasn't always possible, and so I would just be there and just be like, my mom doesn't want us. And so I would just think that, and I wouldn't know what to do. I I don't think that it was from like a grown-up's point of view or a child's point of view. On a child's point of view, it would just be like your mom didn't want you on like an adult's point of view, it'd be like, why would you do that to your children in the first place? Because the fact is that you left your children for whatever reason you had, but you didn't think about how it made them feel. And I understand like everyone has their situation, but I would have rather been with her than not with her. But also, I understand the fact is that like you don't want your kids on the street, if that makes sense. Like obviously, you don't. Nobody wants their children on the street. Nobody wants their children to be with them when they're not in the right space or things like that. But it's also the fact that the matter is that if you leave your child and they go on about their life knowing that you left them multiple times and put them in certain situations, then obviously that child is not going to view you the same way as a parent as you would like them to. I just have always been the type of person that was like, I'm not gonna say that because, yeah, sorry, words. For those who know me, they know for a fact that sometimes I think very emotionally and not very logically. And obviously, as a child, I didn't think logically. And I still don't understand the logic behind leaving your child, if there is any. There may not be, and I may just be contradicting myself and like, oh, like she left us because of this, but like also it's just like, why would you leave your children? If you like, I wouldn't want to leave any of my children. I know for a fact, no matter who I live them with, because obviously my grandma is a lovely person. She's been my ride or die since day one, and my Mima has just always been there for us. She gave us like a better life in general, and she does what she can. She does what she can today, and still tries, and is still like my main go-to, my main parents and things like that, because I don't have the luxury of having a father who's there or like a mother who is present emotionally, especially. And it may have because she had me young or whatever, but it's just the aspect of that. If you have not to say this, but if you have a black mom, it's just facts. Like you know how she is when she's like I like carried you in my womb for like 9 months or whatever, and then you tell them that that was their choice, and they're like, oh yeah, well like I know, but I still did it, and just like that aspect of things that like always has irked my nerves with my mom because she thinks that she did me such a great favor by bringing me into this world, and I'm just like, sure, you can think that, but that's not how it actually works. And it's just that I just don't like that feeling of like I have to walk on eggshells around my own mother, which I still do to this day. It's just that I don't really like that, and I don't really like how she treats me specifically. It was just like she left us, we were gone, and then she would pop back up just like my dad, and then she would be like, I'm not like him, but you left us, and we were just wondering where you went. And so she is just that type of person. And but she's still my mom at the end of the day, but that doesn't make it right for how she did things and how I feel as though she just up and left. Um, yeah, my mom was really there, as I said. Um, what else? What else? What else? Honestly, after this, Loki looks like an Among Us ghost. But basically, it was just like, what else could I think as a child, other than the fact is that I was left by myself. Well, not by myself, but I was left, and I was just, you know, that's just how I felt. I'm not gonna try to do this, but it's just how I felt, and I don't really know how to even feel now, because there are times when she has her moments now and I don't like it, but what can I do other than like either like cut out my life, or either just do what I can and try to be there for my mom, but she isn't there for me. So kind of like it contradicts like everything I believe in, but it's like, oh well, which I guess I shouldn't say that. My, this is so cute. The ADHD is showing. Um, but it's just like my mom left us, as I said, multiple times. But after that, it was just like we would be either in home, then go back to my neighbor's house, go to an apartment, back to my neighbor's house, and it's just like it was just like so many things that went on in like our life, especially me and my sisters. That was just like it felt very unreal, I guess, or just felt as though it was like a normal thing, which it isn't. I was also like it was also like I was just around so many different type of men in my life, because my mom, like, she would just bring men in and out of the house kind of, and that like I didn't like it. Like there was this one man who tried to like toughen me up, and so I just didn't like it, but she kind of like allowed it to happen. And then there were just times when like like there were multiple occasions where like I was either whooped or like beaten by like the men, well, specifically one man that she brought around. And so it was just like I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't have my dad around. One person was around with my mom. My mom would try to advocate for me, but then I would get in trouble at home because then my mom would find out. Like there was this one time where like my I don't know what's called. It was one day like my mom's boyfriend ex-boyfriend anyways, had like I had gotten in trouble for no reason at all, really, other than locking the bathroom door. And then so he like whipped me on my wrist, and obviously I have to go to school. So I went to school, and the bus took me home to my Mima's house. And so basically, when I got home to my Mima's house, my Mima saw it, and then she was like, "Who did this to you?" And I told her who, and like she kind of like yelled to my mom about it, and like that was a whole fight and argument. And then there was like just so many problem situations at home with me and my mom. Like they would argue almost all the time. My Mima, which she rightfully like did, basically wouldn't let my mom stay with her because of most times my mom didn't have a job. She didn't try to look for one sometimes, or like she just felt as though she was entitled to go back to Mima's house, which she isn't. So Mima would most times just have me and my sister stay there and have my mom figure out whatever she was going to do. And obviously it could have been handled differently, but also I understand why my Mima did that, because she wanted my mom to like basically grow up in a way. My mom, she had kids when she shouldn't have, and so it like affected not only her but us as well, and it like had such a great impact on me, because I had fear of abandonment. Now I have like so many different things that went along with that, and I just didn't really understand why. And so then it came on the aspect of just like me coming out as bisexual in middle school. In middle school, I came out as bisexual kind of like 6th grade, maybe. And so I came out as bisexual, and there was like a whole, like I told my mom about it, and then there was like a whole situation where, like, she was like, "You don't know what you're talking about. You are too young to know. You're too young to know, and that you just don't know what you're talking about." and then she would just ask me, like, she basically brought up sex about it, which I still don't understand to this day. She brought up sex in the situation and was like, do I like, you know, in the booty? And so obviously I was confused as a child, like, that's not what this is about. But that's just something she would bring up and just like talk about. Like I didn't really understand. And there was this one time she brought it up, like she literally pointed out on the TV of like these drag queens that were on TV for some reason. I don't know why. And so she put on, was like, so this is what you want to do? This is what you want to do? And then I was just like, no, what do you mean? And it was just like so confusing to me of like how she was about my whole situation, like not situation, but how I am in general and how that affected me. Like I said, have abandonment issues. I have trust issues because of most things that she's done in general, and I don't know how to like feel about certain things, what to do, and things like that, because that's just how my life went. It went in a totally different direction than like I wish it had. Obviously not everyone has that perfect like family at home, but like it it was just like a type of way, but like I was just like I didn't want to be there. Like I didn't want to be at home. I didn't want to be there in general. I wanted to leave most of the time, or like I just wanted to. I don't know. It was just like one of those weird things. Like you want to leave, but you can't, and you don't know what to do about it. And so I was like stuck there, and at that point in time, I was looking doing things. I was a child, and so I was just stuck being in her household, being there, and not knowing what to do, what I can do, where I can go, especially with things for like LGBTQ and things like that, because I feel like if I did, she would figure it out and then she would know about it and then I would get in trouble at home. And so I just kept to myself about it after that situation. Like I didn't tell her anything else after that because I feel like she just was the type of person to just constantly bring up sex, which later on you'll find out that she is. But but she just didn't understand, and she would just bring up the facts that like she had like a phase about it or whatever. Like she had a phase that she thought she was gay and that she was like, it'll pass or whatever. And I was like, well, that doesn't feel like how it is for me. Maybe for you it was, but it's not the same for me. And then so she just went on and on about it and just wouldn't let it go. And then I went to high school. High school was kind of like my like freshman year was kind of like my tipping point of like, I'm gay, this is who I am, and obviously she can't change that. And so it was kind of just like she just wanted to be in denial. And so I kind of like really like told her when I was like what, maybe a junior senior-ish of high school. And I told her about it and I was like, hey, like actually the way it came about was so funny. So I had like a t-shirt business, kind of, not kind of, I did. I had a t-shirt business. How do you get out of this? What is going on? No, hold on one second, because what is this? Let me get out. Let me out. How do I get out, y'all? Okay. But it was just like one of those things where I had like a business with one of these companies or whatever to basically start my t-shirt business that I had in high school. And so we were packaging my shirts for my business. And basically she decided to talk up, like I don't even know the reasoning behind this, but she just wanted to say something about like my friends and ex, like, are all of them LGBTQ? And I was like, yeah, most of them are. And then she was like, calling them like unnatural, like an abomination or whatever. And I was like, you can't say that about people because that's not right. That's very, very rude and mean and disrespectful to anybody. And then she was like, oh, like, you must be gay then. I was like, basically, I was like, yeah, yeah. That's kind of how that went. It was so stupid. Like, it was so stupid and dumb, like how I came out again. And I was just it was like so surprising and stupid, but it was so funny. Like, it's so funny to me now, like how that happened. But basically, she was just like, and then she went up 6 again. Like, she literally, every time I came out to her, she just kept bringing up sex, which I am like, why? What does it have anything to do with anything we're talking about? But she basically would bring up sex about it, like in the situation, that she would just be like, oh my god, like, you're not gay. And then I kind of walked out of her room after that because we were in her room doing my stuff. And so I walked out of her room after that because I was like, I'm not going to sit through any of this anymore. And so that was kind of like how that went. Then she told my mom. My mom thus called me and asked me about it and was like, hey, your mom said this. Is this true? And then my mom was like, why didn't you tell me? Because my mom felt like betrayed, I guess, about it. And then she was just like, she was basically just like, why I didn't tell her, anything like that. And so obviously there was like a whole situation which happened before with like God and stuff like that, which she talked about, because she is religious and like my mom isn't. But it's kind of weird because like she's off and on with God and whatever. And so my mom brought up God and things like that. And obviously I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go to hell because that's just not how the world works. If you believe in that, that's for you. I am kind of like in the middle of everything. I don't know if I believe in Christianity specifically, if I believe in God or anything like that. I'm just like kind of like in the middle ground, but I don't really care. Then like, I guess I should also brought this up, but in middle school, the same guy that essayed me, we went to the same middle school, and tell me why, like, he would try to talk to me in the restroom. He was like, he literally sat beside me in computer class, and then he would try to like the first day he was like, I can't sit by him or whatever. And then I was just like, okay, bye. But we were forced to write each other, and like he touched me like on my hand. It wasn't like he kind of like caressed my hand, and I was just like, I got shivers, like I wanted to leave so bad. And then like it just like went around like that for the whole school year. It would just be like him trying to talk to me during lunchroom and like etc. But it was just so weird, and I don't know. Back to high school. My mom thus texted me. When I was like at school, she was basically saying, I hope you're not going around telling everybody this. And then I was like, well, it's not for you to decide. I said, if people ask me, I'm going to tell them that I am gay. That's not really up to you, it's up to me. And obviously I don't go around saying it like that, but guess what? That's just who I am. And then so basically she got like a whole fit about it, obviously. But my mom has just always been that type of person to try to basically push it in back her mind, and she still does that to this day. I still believe that she doesn't think that I'm actually gay. She's like no, she'll come around. It's just a phase. Where's the phase? I'm like, what, 19, about to be 20 next year? Where was the phase? I think if it was a phase, it would have been past. I don't think that being gay is a phase for anybody. I think it's just like it's like either you accept it or you don't. Like, if you accept it a part of you, that's cool, that's great. But if you don't, also, that's just up to you. It's not like you can just force yourself to be gay. It's kind of like if you're interested in something and then like you try it out and you don't like it, then you understand that you don't like it. But if you try it out and you do like it, then you understand it. But some people are afraid because they like it, which I've had problems with like different men. There was like, um, oh my god. So so obviously all our relationships was like an LGBTQ, like, basically we all have had online relationships, period. So I had this online relationship with this guy. He lives in Ohio. His name is Aiden. No, I don't know what I said was. It is Aiden. And so basically, he basically we started dating. We were dating for like a year and a half, and then like all of a sudden he was like, "Well, I want to talk to this guy that's at my school," and I was like, "Okay, do whatever you want." Tell me why. This guy texted me again. It was like, well, he treated me so badly. I want you back. And so I took him back. Tell me why I took him back. Make that make sense, y'all. Make that make sense. And so we started dating again, and tell me why we broke up again. Yep, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But we broke up again. Obviously, whatevs. But we broke up, and then I dated like this other guy for like not that long. I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember how this happened, but like I think I just stopped talking. I kind of like ghosted the person, and I'm so sorry. To this day, I I don't know why. I guess like I was just in that kind of mode of, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm not interested anymore. Or like there was like a problem at school. I don't really remember. Ew, I do not like that hair. But basically there was just so many relationships that I had, which may have just been like how I've also seen my mom with like men in general, which I've never been able to find like a good man that may have been like a contributor to that. I obviously am in a better mind space than what I was in that specific time. I'm not okay. We're not gonna jinx it, but I'm not seeing anybody. But like we're kind of talking, like we just like kind of like made it official that we like we're interested in each other, and like it made me kind of like giddy and happy. Okay, but we're getting off topic. But basically, it's just like I've been in so many like different online relationships that it's just like I want something like physical, like somebody actually near me, which this guy is. But anyways, and so it's just like I like the aspect, like I like to have the experience of an online relationship because it allowed me to like know different things, like what I like to see, what I like to hear, because obviously there were certain things going on which should have been going on in that day and age, but it happened. But there are certain things that I liked and didn't like. There are certain things that I found to allow me to be who I am today and know who I want to be with, if that makes sense. I feel like online relationships are a good thing because, well, as long as the person's like calling you and you see them, things like that, then it's good. If they aren't, be very cautious. I don't recommend dating or talk to anybody who won't show like their face or like anything like that, because I just firstly think that's very weird, because it is. Because like, what if you're dating somebody online and then they're 35 and you're 14? I think that's the case. I know that's the case, because what the hell? Like the amount of stories I've heard that people are like, oh, like my boyfriend, like, yeah, he's 22 and like you're 16 in high school. And I just look and I'm like, no, that is not a good thing. And like people will be so proud about it too. I'm like, do not be proud of that. But anyways, there just have been like so many challenges with me being gay in general. Like there were challenges with men at school who like believe me, friends I had in middle school who went also in the same high school, who just like decided to like stop like cease contact, stop talking to me at school and things like that. Like I was obviously like a lot more feminine when I got to high school, and there were just different like people I've had as friends who supported me, but then also it was just like you made one more move and then it was like whoosh. It was like we weren't friends anymore. I was just like, okay, then we're not really friends to begin with. Because if like I make one mistake or like I do one thing and then y'all are just like, we're not friends anymore, then were you really my friends to begin with? That's something we have to think about. Because it's like if they can drop you like that after 4 years of being best friends, are y'all really friends in the first place? But there was just like I said, I've lost friends. I've lost not just from being gay in general, but just from like being in certain situations that I have been in personally. I don't really want to express is like a lot of theater drama, a lot of like miscommunication, especially like a lot of people who just wanted to cause drama and situations that made my friendship end, even though like I trusted them like a lot of stuff. And it's just like I was literally pushed to a corner, I was called slurs, I was bashed. There's just been so many things. I've never like had the experience of like being thrown into a dumpster like Kurt Hummel, but I have had the experience of like being ridiculed or almost like get into fights. There was like this one guy in when I was in ninth grade before COVID, he was like basically like talking to me because me and this girl like really tight and we were like talking about like our sexual lives or whatever. Which who had a sexual life in ninth grade? Because I didn't. But like, I talked about it. I talked about like my previous experiences because I had other experiences besides being essayed, like that I consented to, beside that situation. But I like we were talking about just like random sex stuff or whatever in like math class because we were done with all our work, and like he came out to me and started like just whoop de woo, wanted to talk, wanted to like make me feel like lesser than, and then obviously I understand for that. I was like, no, go back to your fucking seat, like yo ass yes, back to your fucking seat. I'm gonna put that clip somewhere now. But it was just like I didn't like how that made me feel, but also it was just like I'm proud of myself for standing up to that person, and it was just like it was kind of like a stepping stone of like I I literally stood up for myself, which I don't do a lot. I don't even do a lot nowadays. There are so many people that have walked over me and still do that I allow just because I'm afraid of what will happen, of the repercussions of of just being me and not letting people walk over me. I nowadays it's just like I I wear so how I came to know that like trans is something that like I for sure am. I basically like kind of I heard one of my friends talk about them being trans or like thinking about it, and then like I've also met trans people and dated a trans person before too. But it's just like I never thought that way that that was a possibility for me because I was always told that I'm a man, I'm gonna be a man, and like that stuff. Um, but obviously that's not what happened. I came out to my Mima, my two aunts like a couple weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay. So this is what we're doing. Okay. Ninth place is crazy. It's okay. Nobody liked me, but I know I ate. But like basically, it was just that I came out to them. Like I went home for fall break, and like I told them basically, and they like they were very supportive. Um, it took me like a little bit more time to kind of get around it, but she came around like in 2 days, which is very good. But also, it was just like the reason it took so long was because she feels like she's losing her grandson. I'm like, why do you think like that? Like, why don't you see it as though you're like gaining a granddaughter? You get what I mean? It's like, why think about loss when you're gaining something else? Um, but I told them, and they're they basically told me that they don't like my mom doesn't like it because she's losing her like grandson or whatever. My aunt, one of my aunts, is just like, yes, Queen Slay. Like, she already knew or whatever. My other aunt, who's a counselor, she already knew as well, and she was basically like saying that that she already knew like it was gonna happen at some point, and that basically I she doesn't like it for me because of the world that we live in, of like what's going on nowadays and things like that, especially with trans people like dying everywhere left and right. And she doesn't like it. She doesn't like it for me socially, but she loves me at like who I am and who I'm becoming as a person. And so that like really like brought it around for you was fights to like you love me for me, and that's all I need to know is to have your support either way. And so it was just like I understand everybody's aspects on like whatever they're trying to figure out about me, but it's also like you also need to understand that this isn't your life, it's mine. And so I just wanted to talk about that. But honestly, I've been having a lot of problems with friends recently. Um Not like problems, but just like basically with me not me feeling as though I don't have the support that friends obviously should give to their friends, so that makes sense. Like if you're friends with somebody, you should want to be there for them and like be like their support system. And it's just like I don't know if I have that. It's like I have best friends, I have friends, but just I don't know if like they'll be there for me when that time comes around. With just like I'm wanting to talk to them and speak to them, but they're not there. Um, I don't know. There was like a problem like today at a like not really a problem, but she was right at the restaurant. Where, like this lady called me sir, like out of just blatant disrespect. Like it wasn't just because she didn't know my pronouns, because like obviously I know not everybody knows my pronouns. Not everybody is going to know my pronouns, but it's just like it was the fact of the matter is that she saw I was wearing a wig and makeup and things like that, but she decided to call me a man. And like I said, it is the problem that she called me a man. The problem was that it's not like how she said it. Like it was very like distasteful. Like she like I felt like she was disgusted or whatever. Like she just felt like she just had to stay man, and that made me feel stuff away. And as I said, like I'm not I'm not that person that's just like if you call me the wrong like pronoun, like that's it, you're done, we're not friends anymore. I'm the type of person that's like, okay, like you call me sir, okay, like obviously I'm gonna correct you, like, hey, it does not what I go by. I go by she, I go by her, I go by miss, whatever. But it's just the fact that it was very disrespectful that caught me off guard and just like made me feel a certain type of way. And it, I mean, it happens to all of us. It's just something that happens to everybody. It's something that obviously shouldn't happen, but what can you do other than be yourself? And like I said, there was just one of the situations that happened to me today. I have been whistled at work. I have been like just certain things I've had like men just look me up and down and stare at me. I mean, it's just the world that we live in. I mean, I'm not necessarily scared to walk home because I walk home from work at night, and I work some really like closing shifts will like in at like maybe like 11 maybe on like a bad like day, maybe like 11, but I don't really feel scared to walk at home. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm just like confident or something, but also it's just like I don't really care. I'm kind of like type of person like if it's my time, it's my time. But it's also like obviously I don't want to die. Like obviously I want to be here for a long time, but it's just if it's my time, it's my time. It happens. Death is a part of life, which like like I understood a long time ago. But like I said, it happens. It happens, and what else can you do but just accept that it did? Or because after that, what else is there to do? I mean, I believe in reincarnation. I believe that reincarnation exists, and that at one point people are reincarnated. Obviously, like I mean, I personally have like visions or like different feelings of certain things. Like I've been certain people or things like that. Like I've like when I was little, I used to have these narratives of like me being different people, me being a dancer, me being an artist, and etc. But it's also like, why did I have those? Like, because I had like specific memories of like one day I'll be like reborn again, and then all of a sudden it's like I go back to this like this home, like my old home or whatever, and then I see like my family, but they don't recognize me, and then I try to tell them like who I am, and then they're like no, but then I tell them stuff that only I would know personally, and then like oh my gosh, it's you. And I never really understood why I had like those type of like feelings or like dreams, things like that. There have just been also like a lot of weird occurrences where like I would just dream and stuff, and then like it would happen, and then of course people are like, oh, like you just like it's just like a brain thing or whatever. But like I genuinely have like seen things in my dreams that have happened like weeks, months, or years, like after the fact, and then I look at that as though I'm just because I used to be so afraid of it. Like there was this one time I was dreaming that like I don't even know why, but like I was fighting, and then and like I kicked the little woody thing off like in the edge of my bed, and like I kicked off at night, and then my mule came in my room. It was like like why did you do that? Like oh my gosh, like what happened? Like she was like okay first once obviously, but then I was like I just like had like a bad dream or whatever. Like it was like one of those dreams like you were fighting and I got into a fight. Not like this was like I had the dream probably in like no not middle. I had the dream like in elementary school, but I had a fight in middle school, and I won, no doubt about it. I won, no doubt about it. But it's just like I had like that dream and like it actually happened. Like the guy in my dream kicked me, the person in real life kicked me, and then I kicked him back. Um, but it's just like experiences like those that make me think about who like I am. Like I recently started doing tarot again. Like I used to do when I was in middle school because I found like very interesting. I don't even know why I found it interesting. I just did, and then I decided that it was just something I was interested in. I just recently started doing it again. Like I did it for my friends, and then I literally pulled random cards and tell me why they were all like, oh, like this is something that actually relates to them. And like I said, it's been so long since I did tarot. I was just like, are y'all sure you're not pulling my leg? And they're like, no, like this is genuinely something that like has either happened to me or like I have just felt in general. And it was just like one of those things like, yeah, I I'm a witch. Witch. I'm probably putting like the little gif in there too because it's funny. But I find that like to be something interesting that I went through. Obviously, that has nothing to do with like my coming out story, but just like a me thing, a me in general thing. Like it happened. I find it interesting, and it was a good experience to me. There were certain times where like had like scary kind of dreams where like people were dying and then like it actually happened on TV. But obviously it was like to anybody that I knew. There were like times like I would have like dreams of like spiders or like stuff like monsters coming into like my house, which may have just been like a normal kid's dream, but like it would be like in such a specific order, like how people die. Like it would be my grandma, then it would be like my mom, then it would be like just like my sister, and then like I would just be left alone, which may have just been like fear of loneliness, or like it may have just like be just like seeing things of like I might be like the last of like my mom and stuff to like die, kind of, but it also may not be. um I have attempted, a multiple, like on 4 times maybe I've attempted, and it was just like, I don't know. It was just like it was either because I felt alone. I just felt like I wasn't needed. There was like this time in middle school, like I had told my count, like not told her, but like I was talking about like how I feel like I wasn't needed on this earth, and then she had to call my mom, obviously, and then she had to like call the people, and then my mom, instead of asking me why I said that, well, she did ask me, but it was kind of like in a mean tone. But instead of like actually caring about like why I was saying stuff like that, she started screaming at me and was like, like, oh, you keep saying that they're going to like take you away from you. Do you want that, whatever? And obviously at the time I was like, no, I don't want that, whatever. Yes, I should have. Um, but like life at home wasn't really good. It wasn't the best, and stuff happens. It's a part of life. But that's kind of like all I want to talk about this video. I like, obviously I might talk, I mean, like touch a little bit more when I have my thoughts together, because as I said, I just got from work not so long ago. But it's also just that there are certain aspects of things that I didn't touch on today, but I do want to touch on like a lot more in like a later video, because this video is kind of like getting to like an hour. I don't know how long it'll be like when I edit it, but it is an hour right now. But I do thank y'all for like listening in or watching, however you guys are listening, like however you guys are like doing this. But thank you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.